So now we're going to do this guy who's definitely been around forever. Started in the 60s, I'm sure, writing for the Smothers Brothers. He's been very funny. Yeah, his humor is, it's interesting. And he had one of the longest guest stars of Saturday Night Live, too. Mr. Steve Martin. And the first time I really saw him, I think it was Parenthood. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah.
I know that I've seen a lot of Roxanne at that time as well, but this guy's definitely been around doing a lot of good stand-up comedy. Like, he knows a lot of interesting things, like magic tricks. He plays the banjo. He does a lot of cool shit like that, and talks about, well, I can't really think of a stand-up. Obviously, he does the King Tut song.
Yeah, I saw that. One time he was hosting a gala on Just for Laughs, and he did that, so I was like, huh, interesting.
Yeah, started that on Saturday Night Live. Just definitely one of those guys that is very interesting to watch. He's done a lot of cool movies as well. Some of them were also serious. I can't really think of one right now, but he did a documentary, I think, called Roger and Me, and it was just him and his dog just driving around wherever he was living at the time. But yeah, just another guy that's an avid dog lover as well, so that's pretty awesome. You know, just kind of not much more I can say about him. I really enjoyed a lot of his sketches on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
The Wild and Crazy Guys with Dan Aykroyd. He does a Christmas monologue thingy. You know, it's pretty cool. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I've always been a fan of his, and
he can play one mean banjo, I'll tell you.
Oh god, yeah. That guy's fucking talented for sure. But yeah. Be interesting to see what else he does.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, Steve Martin, another one of my favorite comedians. There's a lot of different stand-ups that he's done through the years. I can't think of that one special that he did, but I remember renting it when Blockbuster was there.
When Blockbuster was still a thing?
Yeah. But I don't know, do you have any favorite Steve Martin movies or anything?
I mean, he's done so many movies, but I think probably the series of movies that is the most popular and you can probably still watch today on TV is Father of the Bride.
Yes. Yeah, Father of the Bride 1 and 2, I think. I actually think there's 3.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, the third one's kind of interesting, but Father of the Bride, definitely a good movie. I mean, he's also done plenty of others. The Jerk, he's done.
Yeah.
I want to say Three Amigos. But Leap of Faith, he's done Roxanne. You know, there's still a bunch of cool different movies. And the most recent being Bringing the House Down or something like that with Queen Latifah. It's a good movie as well, and just an all-around. I think he probably did a lot of drugs in the 60s. I don't know how clean.
So long?
Yeah, I don't know how clean he was. Because you don't hear too much about him or doing that kind of stuff. So probably, I don't know. But yeah, that's another one of my favorite comedians.
I remember watching a scene from a movie he did. I don't remember what the movie was called, but the scene is he's working at a gas station, and I think he's trying to hide from people, and there's this car driving by, and they start shooting up this gas station, but all these shots are hitting the paint cans, and he's trying to avoid getting shot at, and at one point he goes, "He hates these paint cans." I don't remember the name of the movie though. I just remember that particular scene.
Huh. I'll look it up.
Yeah.
Post it on here anyways. But yeah, one of my favorite comedians, and gotta find more stand up. I haven't seen it in a while, so
Yeah.
yeah, there it is.
Jeff Foxworthy was my last one, so
Oh, was it?
yeah.
Shit.
I mean,
So I guess that'll be it for your picks then.
Yep.
That's weird. Okay, well anyways, I'll do two more before we get into our last three, because we actually picked them.
that's just convenient, coincidentally.
Yeah, so that'll be like the lightning round, I guess.
Yeah.
So this comedian definitely was on Saturday Night Live. He's also a fellow metalhead. You know, he's been on Half Baked with Dave Chappelle. I'm surprised they didn't put Dave Chappelle on the list.
Yeah.
Jim Brewer. And I guess a quick thing I'll say about him is that he's just one of those guys that does a really amazing Brian Johnson impression for AC/DC. He's talking about the Hokey Pokey, and he does a Metallica kid song bit and all that stuff, and he always has his own band with him, which I think is pretty cool. But yeah, Jim Brewer is another one of my favorite comedians.
Yeah.
So we're gonna move on now to another guy that I really enjoyed as a comedian. Also watching the show, which I probably wouldn't have been allowed to watch. You know, my parents tried to, they tried not to let me watch it, but I was 16, so I didn't care.
Yeah.
Christopher Titus is a guy that does a lot of cool specials. You know, has had a troubled life. His dad was an alcoholic and a chain smoker and just a womanizer, and
Yeah.
his mom went to rehab, and I guess you're schizophrenic and then commit suicide. And so yeah, he has had an interesting life.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was just kind of did his own show in 2000 and kind of ended it for I think the third season when I guess it just got too much for him, but yeah, there that is. So the last one I will talk about is a comedian that, well actually there's two more, but I just watched this guy stand up last night again. It's very fucking funny. I think chewed up. Louis C.K. And he's been in some trouble lately, trying to get back into a comeback. So definitely one of my favorite comedians. He has had two shows, and are completely different from each other.
Yeah.
So yeah, he is definitely up there as one of my favorite comedians. And the last one I will talk about is a guy that I don't know too many of his stand-up routines. He's a singer, a rapper, he's an actor on the show Community and a bunch of other shows, Atlanta. Donald Glover.
Yes.
And check his stand-up out. Been watching that one for a very long time too. and just constantly enjoy watching it. But yeah, he's another multi-talented guy. So those are gonna be my last three that I picked. And so I guess we'll get going to the lightning round. So I'm gonna see if I could get this right, because I probably will. And for the next comedian that we're gonna do, all we have to say is shit, pits, tech, motherfucker, turd, and twat.
Yeah, George Carlin.
Yeah. Can't believe we did that. Anyways, yeah. Yeah, George Carlin, like we talked about Richard Pryor. And it's like interesting to me how this guy also transitioned from your classic comedian from that era, you know, short hair, kind of clean humor, and then as soon as the hippie movement hit, you know, grew his hair out, you know, did more drugs, I guess, and just started using profanity, and it's kind of an interesting person. Like,
Oh, yeah.
there's a guy that was the very first host of Saturday Night Live, and was really, really fucking high on cocaine. You know, it's kind of interesting, because he was the first guy to host Saturday Night Live. There was a show called Fridays in the 80s, and he hosted the first show of that, apparently. And he was on my TV for an episode.
One of those guys that wasn't afraid to speak his mind, wasn't afraid to talk about the issues of the world, and is very honest about anything and everything, but did it in a very, very funny way.
Yeah, you know, and just kind of fucking got away with it. This guy definitely one of the best. Like, he made sense, that's all I could say. You know, it's one of those comedians that you go, yeah, that makes a lot of fucking sense. Like, talking about, you know, people, the guy that is in the airport goes, everyone get on the plane, get on the plane. He's like, fuck you, I'm going in the plane.
Yeah.
And, yeah, just one of those guys that, you know, unlike Dennis Leary, who was also very much a vulgar comedian. You talk about him being a Catholic or whatever, and then you got George Carlin, who was an atheist and talked a lot about, you know, not believing in God and all this other stuff that he talked about, and yeah, I'm with him and I'm not. I mean, he was a lot more passionate about it, so I guess.
Yeah. And of course, probably his most famous bit of all time, the 7 words you can't say on television. Shit, piss, fuck, suck a motherfucker, asshole, turd, and twat.
Hell yeah. And it's funny too, because I mean, when I can't remember how old I was, but I saw that and kind of, yeah, that's interesting. He had his own TV show in the mid-90s, and it's just a sitcom, but apparently I wasn't allowed to watch it. He was fucking Mr. Conductor on Shining Time Station.
Yes,
how
he
the
was.
fuck do you get that, man?
Yeah.
Well, him and Ringo Starr.
Yeah. I mean, you go from being a guy that's talking about, you know, being on, you know, I'm not getting on the plane, I'm getting in the plane, and 7 words you can't see on television, and, you know, all these other things, to a kid's show.
I know. That's odd.
Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, it's unfortunate that he had passed away. Well, I won't say young, he was 71 years old, but
Yeah.
still, it was kind of a sad day for everybody that was a big fan of his, you know. Hell, I remember he did the Rodney Dangerfield roast.
Yeah.
and he made a joke about a dog, and I laughed really hard, but I can't remember the joke, and, well, there it is. He's also been on Dogma. He's done a voice on The Simpsons. He did another Kevin Smith movie, but I can't remember what that was. Oh, he was in a Scary Movie. But yeah, George Carlin is definitely one of the best comedians that, well, they're our favorite, obviously.
Yes, definitely. Next is a guy that very funny comic, one I had seen quite regularly, and unfortunately we lost him way too soon. And one of those guys that very open and very honest and kind of dirty, but not overly dirty, and a guy that you just grew to love. And he seemed like he was very funny, and it seemed to be in his personal life he was a teddy bear, essentially.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I seen him do, and I loved it. It's fairly funny. Don't cry for me, buffet people. The truth is I never left you. Jumping at.
Yeah, jumping at. Yeah, it's very sad, that we did lose someone like him, but he did have a lot of issues too. I mean, he's definitely overweight, very much overweight in the 90s, but yeah, first time I saw him on Just for Laughs was 95, and he was talking about buffets around the world.
Yeah.
It's like the Chinese restaurant. He's like, you're so big! Eat vegetable! Eat broccoli! You scare my wife! And then, just all that kind of stuff. And, yeah, very funny and that way, I guess. It's kind of the way he was, I mean, I love to eat too. And it's just funny how
he could poke fun at himself and not have a problem with it.
No, that's the way it should be.
Yeah,
that's the way it always should be. And he's talking about Italy when they went to a restaurant, and well, can we order? And well, first we bring out some food, and then there was food for days, and we lost somebody. They died, and they kept smacking him. Like, you don't like it. No, he's dead. Pass that over here.
Yeah. Or one of my favorite bits he did is he's talking about being in an amusement park and going on a water slide and going really fast down the water slide instead of coming off the end of the water slide, just dropping into the pool. Goes off the end of the water slide, goes rocking in across the parking lot, like A, B, C, D, E.
And as you make it stop.
And as he's going, the letters are going high, like H, I, J, K, please, Lord, let me stop. And the Japanese people say, free willy!
Free willy! And then they bring me the tape, and they're like, suck your Free Willy. It's like it's a tape, and it's got the music from Free Willy into it.
Oh, and take me to the river Jordan.
Yeah.
Foul!
He's definitely, one of my favorites.
Yeah.
It was really, and there was like the one last special that he did. And that was pretty cool as well. Because a lot of the movies he did weren't really as funny as a stand-up, but He's definitely one of the best. I say Nene.
Nene rides?
Oh yeah, a lot of Nene rides.
Yeah.
And you know, I think the last Just for Laughs show that he did, you know, he was dressed up as Freddie Mercury.
Yes.
And, you know, you look how big that guy was, and it's just like, yeah, you know, you can understand, you know, why it happened to him. You know, it's goes into his doctor's office. Well, good news is you can eat all the salad you want. I don't want any salad. What's the good news? Gluten free.
Yeah, he just died about how he was being allergic to gluten, or finds out he's allergic to gluten. And he's like, do you know what has gluten in it? Everything!
You know, there's bullets. Yeah, you go to the section where it says gluten free, and you get these bullets. Why? Because bullets are gluten free.
Yeah. And he's talking about, like, the difference between regular pasta and, like, gluten-free pasta. And it's like, regular pasta takes, well, dried pasta in a box takes, like, 7 to 10 minutes to cook. Gluten-free pasta takes, like, an hour to cook. And he's got the mic cord in his hand, and he's pulling on it. Yeah, this is what your gluten-free pasta is like. Abundanza, and then he wraps it around his neck.
Yeah. But, you know, again, another comedian that we lost way too soon, like we talked about already, you know. Yeah, it's sad, but, you know, listen, someone I wish I would have saw. And I think that, because he did a lot of Canadian tours too.
Yes.
There's a point where I thought he was Canadian, but no. He just did a lot of Canadian tours. And
Yeah.
it's just pretty cool.
Yep.
So I guess the last one on our list, I got a few things I wanted, but, well, not wanted, but I was going to add. But anyways, yeah, so the last one on our list was one of the best voice actors, comedian, stand-up comic, serious dramatic actor, you know, one of a kind. Is probably one of the most nicest guys in show business, you know, helped out whenever he could. And yeah, just, you know, his depression and everything else that he had, it took him way too soon. And Robin Williams, you know, I think it's just one of those things where you have, and we talked about this too with Anthony Bourdain.
Yes.
You know, you have this thing where it doesn't matter if it's depression or anxiety, I don't know. And I'm not diagnosed. I don't know if I mean, I do have those kind of days. Not that severe, you know. Yeah, it's just a sad thing to, like, talk about, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, for those people that give up, I guess if you want to call it, way too easy, or they tried and they failed.
Yeah.
And Robin Williams was unfortunately one of those guys, you know. He just, I guess he lived through, you know, you have an interview with him, and he's not Robin. He's like, well, sometimes he is, but he's doing his own, you know, characters. And
Yeah.
He's always being funny, and he was always on. And it just, you know, it took him way too soon.
Yeah. I think whenever he was on stage or doing an interview or doing a movie, being a character, being funny, seeing other people laugh, hearing other people laugh, really helped him cope through whatever it is he was going through, because whenever he was not doing that and just being, himself, that's when he would get, like, really depressed or whatever and just had a hard time coping. And so him being on so much is what helped him get through it for the most part. Until, unfortunately, he decided to end it all.
And then, of course, I did a video about
Robin
it.
Williams passed away. It's still a big shock, actually. Anyways, if you're like me, you grew up watching Robin Williams from the time that he was in Mrs. Doubtfire to the time that he was in Aladdin. They found somebody that would make it the greatest place ever.
Yeah. It's just funny because, well, it's not funny, but you look at this guy and you think, and it all goes back to what I said about Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah.
And depression and all that kind of shit. You have to understand that life is not all roses and sunshine. People are gonna be depressed as fuck, and that's just the way it is. And then there's a lot of people that will take that to the extreme.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you know what, you have to try to stop that. You gotta try to, before it gets that serious, you need to ask for help.
Yes, absolutely.
I know it's hard, but it's just, you look at Robin Williams and, if only, and he probably did try to get help. Obviously, he got help with alcoholism and drug abuse.
Yeah.
Just get, he got Parkinson's in the end.
Yeah.
And dementia, and he just couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah, so if you are in your life finding that you're having a hard time coping, dealing with depression, anxiety, etc., etc., don't be afraid to go for help. Ask for help. There are people and organizations out there that will help you. And if you are a friend of somebody that has depression, anxiety, etc., etc., then even if they don't want to talk to you directly about what their issues are, still be there for them, support them, be kind to them, help them through in any way you can, and I guarantee it'll help out in the long run.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll post a link like I always do when we talk about this kind of stuff. It's just one of those things where, you get people that go, ignorant people, and they're like, oh, how come you're like this? Why do you do that? There's kids suffering with cancer and all that shit. And I'm like, you know what? You don't fucking understand. So, it's like, it's something that you try to control, and it's hard.
Yeah.
But, you look at Robin Williams, and despite all that, you look at his work as a comedian with Mrs. Doubtfire and maybe even Hook.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of heart in most of... Well, there is a lot of heart in Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah.
There's serious moments there. They get other serious movies like Dead Poet Society, which almost fucked me up a little bit back then.
Yeah.
There's What Dreams May Come.
Yeah.
There's... I didn't see...
Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting. Yes, it's a lot of stuff like that that really shows his range of being an actor.
Yes.
you also look at the comedian side, and you look at the stand-up, and he did this one stand-up special that I also got at Blockbuster. And yeah, I can't. There's really no room for me to. It's basically talking about animals. And it's like talking about animals here. And it's like, oh, cats. Okay. Oh, I'm here. Yep, this is where I go. Yep. Oh, this is mine. Oh, this is mine. You know.
Yeah, pretty much.
The dog's kind of different.
Yeah.
House friendly and all that stuff. But yeah, Robin Williams definitely had a lot of good. I didn't get you wet, did I?
No.
Oh, good. Oh, here. Definitely had a lot of funny moments in that stand-up. He did this one near the end, and this is a Bono finishes a song for YouTube, and then he's on stage in silence, and then he goes this, and then he says, "Every time I clap my hands, a child in Africa dies." The guy in the audience is like, "Well, stop fucking clapping your hands!"
Yeah. Robin Williams, one of a kind.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is gonna be missed, you know. And, I mean, you look at what he's done, even for charity. I mean, he did a thing, too, with Coco the Gorilla.
Yes.
It's just the kind of guy he was, and, you know, his many appearances on Sesame Street. So, I mean, yeah, Robin Williams definitely gonna be missed.
To Robin Williams,
Yep.
John Panette, George Carlin, Richard Pryor, several other comedians we lost.
Yeah.
Thank you for the memories. Thank you for the laughs. You'll always be with us in our hearts and our minds, and you will forever be missed. Here's to you,
Just throw you.
Mr. Govia.
Alright. So, that was our video. That's actually surprising. You see, we didn't really talk about well, actually we did talk about how many people we were going to talk about.
Yeah.
But I guess I had more people on my list. I cut it short, so a lot of people aren't going to make it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of, you know, like, I'm surprised that it didn't have, like, I put Whitney Cumming on there.
Yeah.
And I don't really get her humor too much, but that, about putting a woman comedian on there. And there's also, I'm surprised they didn't put Gabriel Iglesias on there. Fluffy! I mean, I'm fluffy too. But, I mean, here's a guy that definitely does voices.
Oh, yeah. He can do voices, he can do sound effects. And he's just funny as hell.
You look at, you know, there's Aloha Fluffy 1
Yeah.
and 2, which I really enjoyed those specials. There's also a movie he did, and it's very interesting because it talks about, you know, him meeting his dad.
Yes.
And just kind of goes through that. And, it's,
Yeah.
you know, just watch it. It's fun.
Yeah.
Also, fellow wrestling fan.
Yes.
You know, any other honorable mentions you want to?
Yeah. Seeing as how we'll call this the honorable mention section of the video.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, earlier I had mentioned Jeff Foxworthy. Well, you'd also go into Bill Engvall and Larry the Cable Guy and Ron White.
I do not like Ron White.
Yeah. But I mean, each one of those guys has their own specific style of comedy and open with what they talk about and are really funny. I mean, yeah, Jeff talks quite a bit about his family, but I mean, so does
Bill Engvall.
Bill Engvall.
Yeah. He also had his own show, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah. So this has been a good, it's 2 parts. It's been a very good show.
Yes.
Episode. So I don't know. You pick the next topic for next week.
Yeah. You know what we could do is maybe next week do something we haven't done in a little while and do This Week in Wrestling?
Yeah. Yeah, and it has been interesting. I mean, I don't know what this whole thing with Drake Maverick and
Authors of Pain?
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll definitely be watching Raw and SmackDown and 205 and all those. Yeah, sure, let's go back to watching that. I know those episodes are a bit long, but who cares? That's just how it is.
So deal with it.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. Alright, so anyways, this has been a great episode of Top Favorite Comedians. This is Killer Kyle. I mean Matt. And we will talk to you next week.